Good morning and welcome to the Native News Today television program. Gerald Wofford with Jason Salzman. We thank you for joining us this morning on the first Saturday of February 2007. This month marks the one-year anniversary of the Native News Today.
Yeah, and we're ready for another year of great stories. We bring them to you every Saturday, and it's going to be no different in 2007 than it was in 2006, our inaugural season, if you will, because we're kind of sports guys, so we treat it like this is a locker room, and we're ready to go, man. We're ready to bust out of the gates.
That's right. It's always game time here on the Native News Today. But we do have some bit of information that we need to pass along to our watchers here at the top of the program concerning the recent winter storm and how it affected Oklahoma and Native American citizens. There's some disaster relief available out there right now.
Yeah, the tribes are doing what they can all over the state to kick in and help with what's been going on. But some of the most hardest hit areas were in Creek Country, southeastern Oklahoma, down towards Eufaula, and in Pittsburgh County, and even McIntosh County. Ryle community was hit.
Well,
hard.
even our producer, Josh
Exactly.
Lane, there
He
was
slept on his brother's couch for like a week.
yeah, well, you know,
I don't know if that's because the ice
probably every
storm.
bachelor has felt that
Yeah,
sometime,
I
but
guess
it was
so.
different for him.
I don't know if it was the ice storm or he was just that guy on the couch, you know. But
Yeah.
anyway, the ice storm on January 12th left a lot of people in Creek Country, specifically down south in Eufaula and in that area, without power, without food, water, everything that you essentially need to be able to survive. So the Creek Nation has stepped in and provided disaster relief, and I just want to read off a few of the things going on down there. They have set up a shelter for elderly residents in Almolgee that were affected by power outages. And those citizens, once they were back in their homes, Creeks began working on Muskogee and McIntosh County. Now, they set up shelters at the Shakota Indian Community Center, which was hit very hard as well, in Hanna and Eufaula and Muskogee. Muskogee also got a lot of ice and had a lot of damage out there. They brought generators, food, water, supplies, distributed those. They also contacted Indian Health Services in Washington, D.C. to provide a 60-kilowatt generator to the Eufaula Indian community set up as a shelter there. So that was a great job there in contacting Washington, D.C. and getting something done. They also have provided medical needs to the clinic with diapers, toothbrushes, etc. And they're also working with the local emergency management of these communities to supply needs to local shelters at places affected that aren't in Creek Country. So helping out not only the nation but all communities everywhere affected by this tragic event that hit us on the 12th. They will be opening disaster recovery centers if you're interested in that for Creek citizens at the following locations. There's still people out there that haven't recovered totally and their houses have been damaged or whatnot, and they will be opening these disaster recovery centers, and the following will be located in Eufaula Indian Community Center, and that's going to be February 17th and 7th, and 13th between the hours of 9:30 a.m. and 1 p.m. The Shakota Indian Community Center will be open on February 5th and 15th between the hours of 9:30 a.m. and 1 p.m. And the Muskogee Community Center will be open on February 5th, 7th, and 13th between the hours of 9:30 a.m. and 1 p.m. They will also be a disaster relief center open in the Social Services Department of Creek Nation, and that's located in Almolgee. The last day to apply for assistance will be February 15th, 2007. Creek citizens must present information confirming enrollment, residents within the affected area, and receipts of purchase. You may also find this information by calling the disaster hotline at 918-732-7911, and that will give you all the information you need if you are without power or shelter still. There's still people out there affected by this thing, and it's almost going on a month now.
Yeah.
So really hit us hard, but the Creek Nation is doing what they can for their own citizens as well as the state of Oklahoma as well. So kudos to them, and as well as all the other tribes that are doing this too.
That's right. And again, that phone number, 918-732-7911. We'll scroll it across the bottom of the screen here at the beginning and at the end of the program as well. So keeping you informed out there. Well, we've got a very informative, enlightening, and entertaining program for you just ahead here. We'll take a quick break and we'll introduce our new segments here on the Native News Today.
Smali, tasaarutsuusinili anginaistun sanga.
Pangana riibe hayatkaus.
Hada magas.
Pangana hayatkiruang noge.
Fanny moluja subananga.
Tumursaatiet.
Hitla hani subani duang.
What? Hijimokhatsari, chin hisaktarastumidanga.
Mahijimok kasi di weki diga. Hisagre ra hiliga. Ampane hayatkiruang.
Hili mahi. Matse.
The Muskogee Creek Nation Tobacco Prevention Program offers all cessation classes to young and old. For more information about a healthier life and a second wind, contact one of these centers nearest you. You know, just north of Tulsa is the Post Oak Conference Center, and businesses, organizations go out there. It's a retreat center, a meeting place, a very nice woodland outdoor setting as well as indoor, nice facilities, and people that go out there are really treated to superb dining and food, none other prepared than by the Choctaw chef Damien Jacob.
Yeah, Damien Jacob does a great job out there. And are you sure it's not Iron Post, or is it Post Oak Lodge?
Well, it is Post Oak. Iron Post is south of the Tulsa community and
I'm
area
sorry,
there.
it's a little Indian humor thrown in there this morning.
That's right, very little, but it's good though.
That's exactly
Speaking of,
right. They have a lot of businesses that go out there, as you said, and everybody in the Tulsa area knows about it. If they have a large business or gathering or meeting that they need to have, they usually go out there, and it's all catered to, and everything's really nicely done. And a large part of that, a large draw to that place and the appeal is Damien Jacob, the Choctaw chef.
So we took the tranquil riding, if you will, the scenic course out to beautiful Post Oak Lodge out there, and got a few words with the Choctaw chef himself, Damien Jacob.
When I was 10 or 11, I used to, get home from school, and a lot of kids would be watching cartoons, or I'd always turn it to Discovery Channel, watch the great chefs. That was back before Food Channel was popular, so I watched these people do all these wild and beautiful things with food. So just it's just something I was fascinated with. I always liked art, I've always liked color, and this is a way that you could kind of still express yourself artistically. I grew up going to church with my granddad. We went to a United Methodist, Oklahoma Indian, United Methodist church. It's called Tawali. It's in Broken Bow, small town. It's a real small church. From Wright City, Oklahoma. It's in southeast Oklahoma, McCurtain County. It's mainly Choctaw tribe down there. A lot of Choctaw kids. It's real laid back. We have a lot of fun here. We just have a handful of people working in the kitchen here, so we're all pretty close. Kind of play off each other's what's going on. Everybody knows what's going on. No one has to ask what needs to be done. But you say we have a lot of room back there. When we get real busy, there's really not a whole lot of room at all. It's actually really small kitchen for the stuff that we get done here. Tomorrow night we have a wedding for 190 people. Sometimes I wish a lot more, Native kids would get into it, because it's all right. There's always going to be restaurants. There's always going to be people wanting to eat. So, you hear communications and stuff like that, downsizing and all this kind of stuff. Well, people are always going to be eating. So you never have a hard time finding a job. And it's something you can take with you. If I was to move to another city, I could have a job before I even got there. So it's a nice thing to know, to stay open, and don't close yourself up to anything. You have to be willing to listen, adapt. If you do things a certain way, but if somebody has another way of doing it that's easier, it's things like that. It's a learning process. It's something that you never. There's always something to learn. I don't know anyone that knows everything. It's just. Just be open and listen.
All right, and if your business has a party or gathering that you would like to have out at Post Oak Lodge, that's totally fine. And you can even have the Choctaw chef make up your food for that event. All you do is call 918-728-2705 or 918-728-2765 to get in contact with the good folks out at Post Oak Lodge, and they'll take care of you.
That's right. Get some good food from the Choctaw chef himself, and maybe even with a little coaxing, Jason, might do some of that fancy, flipping the skillets in the air and everything,
Do you do that?
and do all this. Oh, they all the
okay,
chefs
okay,
do that, right?
Yeah, it's a dumb question.
Do all that.
I know better than that. I got to stay sharp.
So You know, also too, earlier this week, Jason and our other video man, Mr. Jared Moore, ventured over to Tulsa, Oklahoma, because an Indian Arts Festival is in preparation, even as we speak.
Right now, the Tulsa Indian Arts Festival in its 21st year, going strong. It's been a great forum for Indian artists in this state for a long time, 21 years, and this year is no different. And they have tons of great Indian artists, and the featured artist this year is Dan Townsend. He's a shell carver, well-known shell carver, and basically just an artist in general. And there are many others there. I'm sure our good friend Dana Tiger will be there as well. So great art, great artists going on February 9th, 10th, and 11th at the Tulsa Indian Arts Festival. And Curtis Zuniga, the Master of Ceremonies, was kind enough to give us a minute of his time to talk about this great event. All right, we're here in the Bourne Building in downtown Tulsa with Mr. Curtis Zuniga with NIMI, the National Indian Monument and Institute, and he is this year's Master of Ceremonies for the Tulsa Indian Arts Festival in its 21st year, and that's quite an accomplishment, Curtis. You got to be proud to be part of that.
I'm very proud to be a part of it. It's going to be a good year. The Tulsa Indian Arts Festival is celebrating its 21st year. Really have grown into a premier arts festival event in northeastern Oklahoma. It is a project at the National Indian Monument and Institute, as I've said. This year's festival will be February 9th, 10th, and 11th. It will be at the Tulsa Fairgrounds. It'll be in the Expo Square, and it will be at a building called Exchange Center 1. We've had the festival in that building in the past, so a lot of our regular friends and supporters will know where we are. But this year, the Tulsa Indian Arts Festival is at the Expo Square.
You look at the state of Oklahoma and the proud, rich history of Native Americans here, and why not have these art festivals? You've had Red Earth that's been successful for a long time, the Tulsa Indian Arts Festival now in its 21st year, and this is really a hotbed for Indian art and Native American artists, isn't it?
Well, it is, but we need activities like this to help promote the commercial sales. Appreciation of Indian art is a given. But as far as helping our Indian artists in the area with sales and exposure, this is truly a must-see event, and it's also one that the cream of the crop always schedule as far as their tour across the United States.
And you look at it, there's some big things scheduled for the week. Friday night, it's really going to be the big night with the preview night. Talk a little bit about some of the things going on there and the opportunity for the scholarships to be awarded, things like that.
Well, of course, Friday morning, actually at 11 o'clock in the morning, is when we open up over at Expo Square at the Exchange Building. But it runs until 4 o'clock for the general public. At 4 o'clock, we'll shut down to prepare for the preview night. The preview night is a really extra fancy, extra special kind of first shot at looking at all the artwork. It's done by reservation, so we will need people to call our offices here and establish a reservation so we can get a head count for the food. By the way, that telephone number is 838-3875. Preview night opens at 7. We'll have a buffet with a full meal, cash bar. We're going to have a reception for all of the artists that will be there, and there's like over 30 artists.
The organization you're part of, actually NIMI, National Indian Monument and Institute, puts this on and does several things throughout the year, and this is one of the bigger ones. But talk a little bit about that organization.
The National Indian Monument and Institute has been around for over 20 years. The long-term goal is to build a world-class Indian cultural center in the greater Tulsa area. Now, we actually have a lease with the Tulsa River Parks Authority for 40 acres on the west side of the Arkansas River at 71st and Riverside. So it's a tremendous location.
Absolutely.
Very well complements the Tulsa Creek Nation Casino there. And so all of that development that's occurring along with Vision 2025 is going to give our Indian people a prominent place there in South Tulsa, and in particular with the Creek Nation on the forefront of anything that's represented as Native American.
And you look at what's been going on this past year in the city of Tulsa, and really in the state of Oklahoma on a broad spectrum. I get the feeling, but don't you also get the feeling that the Native Americans are sort of starting to become more at the forefront as the state, goes on into the future?
Well, I have to admit that economic development has given us the political power in both the city of Tulsa and in the state of Oklahoma. So again, our efforts are to complement that, but ours is a cultural mission, and it is to celebrate and to present not only to the non-Indian and the schools and the tourists and all of that, but it's a cultural center for our Indian people in the greater Tulsa area, a place where we can all come. And our design and our purpose and our mission is really, I think, going to reach out to all Indian people. In addition to the Tulsa Indian Arts Festival, we do a number of ongoing programs with the Tulsa Regional Library, storytelling, music, dance, art. It's an ongoing and yearly activity. But certainly February 9th through the 11th, our focus is going to be on the Tulsa Indian Arts Festival. And that aspect of what we're doing with NIMI is going to be presented in a really great way.
Absolutely. And let's give everybody out there one more chance for the contact information and the wheres and whens of this great event.
All right. The 21st Annual Tulsa Indian Arts Festival will be held at the Tulsa Expo Square Exchange Center 1 building. The dates are February 9th, 10th, and 11th. That's a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Friday from 11 to 4, then our preview night from 7 to 10. Saturday we open at 10 in the morning and it goes till 6 at night. Sunday from noon to 6. Again, art, music, dancing, storytelling, Indian fellowship, and supporting Indian arts and our scholarships for Indian art students.
All right, a little bit of everything for everyone. Come on out and enjoy this, and great event, and 21 years strong, and going to be many, many more. And just thanks to you and the great organization that you're working with, Curtis. Thanks for being on the program.
Madhu.
All right, the Tulsa Indian Arts Festival happening next week. Jason, let's give them those dates again.
It's going on the February 9th, 10th, and 11th, and the 9th is a big night for them. That's their preview night, really when they want a lot of people to come out and check it out, and be a part of that. Big buffet dinner, fancy stuff going on, so that's the big one.
All right, let's take a quick break, and then on the other side, we got some more news stories on the Native News Today.
It's here. It's hot. And it's only at Creek Nation Casino in Muskogee, the ultimate treasure hunt, and it's going on now through April 1st. A Suzuki Boulevard motorcycle, Chevy Silverado truck, and $20,000 in cash prizes are up for grabs, and 20 lucky winners will find their own pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. That's all happening right off Highway 69 in Muskogee.
Creek Nation Casino, where OK comes to play.
Today's world is far different than the one our ancestors knew. But though times have changed, we the Muskogee Creek people remain a strong people. Many of our traditions continue to thrive in today's modern world. For 1,000 years and more we have been here, and we will be here for 1,000 more. Times have changed, but so have we, and the Muskogee Creek people are a part of this time, this country, and this economy. You know, it seems, Jason, just about every other show, for some reason, and well, for a very good reason, really, we are always over in Muskogee, Oklahoma, because there's so many great things happening over there in Indian country, schools, artists, just all the gamuts, if you will. And you and Jared ventured over to Bacone College recently.
Yeah, we were over there and talking to all the great Indian athletes they have, and specifically, we got in touch with Kyle Taylor, who's been on the program before, and he is the director of Native Concerns at Bacone College, and really does a lot with Native recruiting. And in the last couple of years, it's really picked up over there, and they've gotten Indian students back really interested in Bacone College, and that's a place where the Indian heritage is very rich, and it should be that way. You know what I mean? And so they've got a lot of kids over there now, and we got to visit with a few of them and see what it was like. But we talked to Kyle and the athletic director, and we're seeing what was going on over at Bacone College. All right, we're here on the campus of Bacone College with select athletes, Indian athletes here, and certainly a host of them representing all kinds of sports. And joining me now in full regalia is Kyle Taylor, the director of Native Concerns. Kyle, we spoke with you about a week and a half ago, and we're so glad to be back and highlighting all these great student athletes here at Bacone.
Well, we're glad you're here, and as you can see, we have a number of our athletic programs here. I believe we have rodeo, stickball, football, wrestling, girls softball, and baseball, just some of the sports.
Yeah, baseball close to my heart. I'm glad to see those guys out here
Yeah.
today. So, well, you know, the heritage here at Bacone, the Native American heritage, certainly proud and very proud of that. But you look at some of these student athletes and the great things they're doing. You certainly got to be proud of that and the tradition continuing here, especially being able to recruit some of these great kids.
Well, we're really excited. We can see you see all these Indian athletes. In fact, you know, one of the things we're excited about baseball, especially, it's going to be 40 years this spring of when we won the national championship in a junior college, and so we're excited about all the sports. And yeah, recruiting these kids, it's really special. We're glad they're here.
And that's one of the things, you know, you talk about. You don't only recruit talent, you recruit character as well. And all of them, you know, bring certain things to their respective sports and to this college as a whole. And is that what it's really about? You know, not just fostering their athletic talent, but, you know, turning them into great people too.
Well, one of the visions of the athletic department is to nurture a Christian character and to build their hearts and build them as individuals, not just athletes. They come here as athletes, and they're good already. And so we want to make sure when they leave that they have a quality Christian education as well.
All right, we're here with Joe Cole, Dr. Joe Cole, the Dean of Athletics here at Bacone College. And behind us here, you look at some great student athletes, and you got to be proud of the tradition of athletics that are continuing here at Bacone.
Yeah, I am, especially the Native American aspect. I think that's something that we want to continue to draw on. We've got a Native American athletic club that we're forming, so, you know, when the Native American athlete out there says, well, why should I come to Bacone? The athletic department wants to see that as part of their mission to, you know, emphasize that part of who we are.
And you look across the country and all these tournaments that go on. You know, I know NABBY's a big tournament every year, and you got organizations like For Love of the Game and that foster Native American athletes, and IndianSports.com, and really Native American athletes and athletics in general is coming to the forefront. Is that something you've seen too over the years?
Yeah, I think so. Of course, you know, growing up, one of my heroes or memories of hero is Jim Thorpe, and, you know, all of what he did. So I think you're seeing more and more Native American groups that want to keep that identity of who they are as Native American and as athletes.
You talk about, we were talking to Kyle earlier about, you know, some of the things about what you look for in student athletes, and certainly, you know, these kids here behind us, they represent the best of all that's Bacone wants to represent. Is that something that you guys really key on when you look for them?
Yeah, I think it is. We're also a Christian college, so we're looking for a combination of, you know, Christian character and great athletic skills. We want to win every possible contest we can, and we want to emphasize character and other things as well. So, in fact, the NAI has a program called Champions of Character, and we think that the Native American kids we recruit and all the kids we recruit hopefully fall into that category as well.
And as you've seen in that news segment there, a lot of great athletes in Bacone.
Yeah, bright kids, and that's exactly what they're wanting now. Like they talked about, there is the brightest and the best and the best talent and everything. And really, those kids are buying into the system of what it takes to be a Bacone Warrior.
And our thanks to Kyle Taylor and the staff at Bacone for coming out and cooperating with us and bringing out all the athletes, and just got to spotlight a lot of them there.
Absolutely. Now, they're the Bacone Warriors, but we got a chance to talk a little bit with a Choctaw Warrior in specific, throwing his hat in the ring. No pun intended.
That's right. Jonathan Nelson from Oklahoma City made, I guess, his Tulsa boxing debut last Friday night at the Osage $1 Million Elm Casino, fighting at the welterweight division. Jonathan came out and a really impressive record, 15 fights. 13 of those have been by knockout. And as you see in this new segment here, Jonathan took care of business. Very nice young man too, you know, very well focused, knows what he wants to do with his career.
And he's well known in Oklahoma City. He's really fought a lot there, and now he's moving his game to the east side and be fighting in Canada later too.
That's right. This next month in February, February 8th to be exact, we'll have a fight in Canada. And as information comes to us, we'll let you know how he did up there north of the border. Here's our new segment on Choctaw Warrior Jonathan Nelson. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here at the Osage $1 Million Elm Casino, where we saw another fine performance by the Choctaw Warrior. I'm talking about this gentleman here, Jonathan Nelson. TKO in the second round against opponent John Husky. Jonathan, I know every boxer is his own critic. Overall, when you go back, you look at the tape, look at your fight, I mean, scientifically, technically, whatever, how did you feel about your fight performance?
I believe I could do better than what I did because of the training I don't get, you know, because like I said, Oklahoma's not a boxing state, so I really don't have a good trainer to, you know, go to. And the only thing I can do is just learn what, you know, the skills that I know, you know, to keep up.
Well, your opponent tonight showed a lot of game. He came out very aggressive on you, especially that first of the second round.
Yes, he did. He got a good punch. As you could tell, I got a little shiner, and I give a lot of credit to him. He came out there and he did his best, and I guess, you know, just skill-wise, I was better.
But you came back a little bit there and played a little bit of rope-a-dope. You swayed back a little, then you came back in.
Correct. I don't. When I do that, it's just more that I'm trying to figure his style. You know, what he's coming at, what he's throwing, what he likes to throw, and his technique. And that's why I do that, to find out what he's doing, what he can bring, and what kind of type of hit he can do. So,
John, you know, for all the fans out there, people watching, some that may have boxed a little, some that have never boxed before especially, you're watching a fighter in there, and, you know, you being in there in the ring, all the people around you, the lights and everything, what exactly is going through your mind when you're right there in the middle of combat?
actually, my focus is on my opponent. You know, I block out the crowd. I block, you know, everything. I just me and my opponent. When that bell rings, that's all I think about. If I'm figuring out his technique, what he's going to bring, and just do what I can do, just take him out.
All right, best of luck to the Choctaw Warrior Jonathan Nelson in his quest to become bigger and better in the professional ranks. You know, before we sign off here, we want to give you that information again, disaster relief for all those citizens hit hard by the recent inclement weather in Oklahoma.
Yeah, the hardest hit areas have been Eufaula, Shakota, and Muskogee, and Creek Nation really taking care of their own in those areas. Those are all members of the Creek Nation and all have Indian communities there. So really reaching out and helping them, as well as helping all kinds of other communities as well. But if you want information on any of these disaster relief centers, all you have to do is call the emergency management hotline at Creek Nation, and that is 918-732-7911, and you can get in contact with somebody that can give you all the information you need on these disaster relief areas and the centers that they have set up to provide care for them. So really a great deal going on, really reaching out to help their own and help others as well.
Let's give that number just one more time, please, Jason.
918-732-7911, and that will take you right to the hotline. You can speak to somebody and get all the information you need.
You know, that's one of the services that we like to provide here on the Native News Today. The information to get out there to our Native American citizens, any type of assistance or help, we like to pass that along. And of course, if there's any news out there, we like to spotlight, we like to focus and share that. And so please get in touch with us if there's other service programs. And as we always say, if there's other news segments or things you'd like to share on our program, please contact us. Jason, how do they do that?
They can reach us by telephone at 918-732-7644, or they can reach us by fax at 918-758-0824, or by our email address. Mine is jsalzman at muskogeanation-nsn.gov or gwofford at muskogeanation-nsn.gov, and that's all the information you need to get a hold of us and get us out to your community, get us out to your event, and we'll be there. Camera, microphone, ready to go, hit up a news story, and we're always after them.
That's right. Just like our tribal elders, we adapt to every situation. We're there on the go and ready to cover the news.
Nice. Good. Nice addition there. That was good.
Well, hey, as always, we want to welcome everyone. It's your first time seeing this, and a special welcome to our Oklahoma City viewers getting used to the show. Don't let this be your last time watching Native News Today. We're going to sign off for right now. Jason Salzman, our producer Josh Lane, Jared Moore, I'm Gerald Wofford. In the meantime, take care. God bless. We'll see you soon.